In the heart of Kyiv, the once vibrant Ukrainian capital, the somber reality of war now echoes through the city streets as explosions punctuate the tense atmosphere. Recently, a significant development underscored the gravity of this conflict. A training facility designed for 5,000 individuals was destroyed by Russian missile strikes. This facility was more than just a military hub. It was a symbol of Ukraine's determination and the resolve of its people. In the blink of an eye, the attack not only resulted in a tragic loss of life, but also thrust Ukraine's military readiness into the spotlight, leaving 5,000 soldiers and 60 foreign military experts caught in the crossfire. The international community swiftly condemned the attack, labeling it a cruel and inhumane assault on civilians, a breach of fundamental human rights. Yet from the Russian perspective, this facility was a legitimate military target, allegedly serving as a gathering point for mercenaries and posing a direct threat to Russian forces. This dichotomy of narratives highlights the complex web of geopolitical interests and rivalries that have transformed these neighboring nations into adversaries. The ethical boundaries of warfare are being tested as educational institutions become battlefields, challenging the very core of human civilization and its values. Wasyl Dakin, a renowned Ukrainian military expert, argues that the targeted school was more than a mere academic institution. It was a breeding ground for future military leaders, thus justifying its status as a strategic target. However, this perspective is not universally accepted. Many in the international community assert that, regardless of potential military use, targeting a school represents a severe violation of wartime ethics, as these are sanctuaries of learning and growth for children. The debate continues, with questions raised about the responsibilities of both Ukrainian and Russian forces in this escalating conflict. The principle of civilian protection remains a cornerstone of international warfare ethics, and actions that endanger civilian lives are viewed as betrayals of humanity's conscience. Amidst this turmoil, a new phenomenon has emerged: the increasing participation of women in the conflict. According to Ukraine's Ministry of Defense, a growing number of women are volunteering, undergoing military training in countries like Poland, and preparing to defend their homeland. This development challenges traditional gender roles and stereotypes, sparking discussions about gender equality and responsibility during wartime. Svetlana Shurova, first deputy chairman of the Committee for International Affairs of the Russian State Duma, acknowledges the right of women to participate in war if they choose to do so willingly. However, she emphasizes that their primary role should be to support fighters from home, reflecting the enduring conflict over gender roles in modern society. As these remarkable shifts occur, we are reminded of the immense cost of war and the pressing need for peace. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has inflicted massive human and economic losses on both sides. The devastation of a training center, the ethical debates over military targets, and the evolving role of women in war all underscore the profound impact of conflict on human society. Ultimately, war is not the optimal solution to disputes. It exacerbates tensions and inflicts suffering on countless individuals. Therefore, we urge both Russia and Ukraine to return to the negotiating table and seek peaceful resolutions to their differences. At this critical juncture, the international community must play an active role, providing robust support and assistance in fostering a peaceful resolution to the conflict. In the days to come, it is imperative that we remember the lessons and costs of war, cherishing the hard-won peace and stability that so many have sacrificed to achieve. Together, we can work towards creating a more harmonious, prosperous, and better world for future generations. The capture of the Chasiv-Yarsk fortress by the Russian armed forces marks a significant shift in the territorial landscape. Reliable sources indicate that Ukrainian defense forces have abandoned their positions at the fireproof factory in Chasiv-Yarsk, leaving this crucial stronghold under Russian control. Following the capture of Velika Novosilka, Russian forces have expanded their reach, advancing into areas west and south of Novikomar. The initial assaults by Russian aerospace forces in Velika Novosilka have caused the defensive line of the Kyiv troops to crumble, leading to a state of disarray where many Ukrainian units struggle to escape encirclement. In tandem with operations in Velika Novosilka, Moscow's forces have launched an offensive northwest of the region, aiming to push further towards Zaporizhia. Reports suggest that the Russians have made significant inroads, extending their control over the western flanks of the city. Attacks continue in the direction of Udachner and Kotlin, with parts of the area already under Moscow's command. In Chasiv Yar, Russian troops have occupied the first high-rise buildings, marking another territorial gain and severing a key supply route for Ukrainian forces in the region. Geolocated videos reveal Russian forces along the hills west of Ivanivka, continuing their preparatory maneuvers as they edge closer to Kramatorsk. The previous week was marked by fierce battles across several cities, with Chasiv Yar standing as a main fortress for Ukrainian forces in the industrial zone. Despite the determined defense, the refractory factory eventually fell, leaving Ukrainian troops with only weakened positions behind them. These extend across fields and villages stretching to Druzhkivka and finally to Kramatorsk. With the fall of Chasiv, Russian shock troops now set their sights on Alexeyevo-Druzhkivka, a settlement strategically positioned between Druzhkivka and Konstantinovka. Konstantinovka, one of the four major cities in the densely populated metropolitan region, lies further south. Meanwhile, another formation of Russian forces is closing in from the south, advancing through Toretsk. The battle for the city appears to be nearing its conclusion, with only a few streets in the northern suburbs still under Ukrainian control. Several villages remain contested as the Russians press their advantage further north towards Konstantinovka. Simultaneously, another Russian offensive is underway in the Donbass region, southwest of Konstantinovka, near Pokrovsk and Minogard. These developments have significant implications for the course of the special military operation. As expected, Russian forces have bypassed Pokrovsk from the west, pushing forward along the railway line to continue their assaults toward the city. Moscow's units have exploited a vulnerability in the eastern section of Pokrovsk, near Worstwichenka, slicing deep into the defensive lines of Kiev's troops and securing a critical intersection east of the city. Although the siege ring is not yet fully closed, the general outline is unmistakably visible, with Russian forces encircling the city in their typical fashion, aiming to force Ukrainian troops into a crossfire and compel them to retreat. This strategy has been employed by Russia in numerous battles, and the pattern seems set to repeat itself in Pokrovsk. The persistence of Kiev's forces in shifting positions from semi-encircled locations to minimize losses has been a notable tactic. However, this time, a stark difference is evident. While last year in Avdiivka, Ukrainian brigades were still operating with a certain level of manpower, current units are primarily composed of exhausted troops and inadequately trained recruits. This presents a substantial challenge for Kiev's command, as many reservists are prone to abandoning their positions or deserting the front lines. As 2025 unfolds, Ukraine faces a series of operational crises, with Russian forces poised to exploit these vulnerabilities. As the conflict continues to unfold, the situation around Bakhmut and Atmivsk becomes increasingly volatile. Russian forces have made significant advances in the industrial zone in the northern district of Chasiv Yar over recent weeks. Moscow's troops have achieved notable successes in the city center, with reports indicating that they are nearing full control of the Nord district. The past 6 months have seen relentless fighting, with video footage circulating online showing Russian soldiers occupying the premises of the refractory factory. The battles for the industrial area have raged throughout December, culminating in the Russian forces' penetration of Pivnitny and the consolidation of their positions. Recent footage released by the Ukrainian armed forces illustrates the intensity of the conflict, capturing Moscow's troops launching assaults on Ukrainian positions in multi-story buildings near the Avangard Stadium. This footage highlights the precarious state of the defense line in Chasiv Yar, where Kiev's troops are showing signs of withdrawal from this strategic stronghold. As the Russian armed forces continue their advance, the broader implications of this conflict loom large. The ongoing struggle serves as a stark reminder of the profound human cost of war, as well as the urgent need for diplomatic solutions. The resilience and determination exhibited by both sides underscore the complexity of this conflict, which has deep historical roots and far-reaching geopolitical consequences. In reflecting on these events, one must consider the long-term impact on the people of Ukraine and Russia, as well as the broader region. The war has not only reshaped the geopolitical landscape, but also altered the lives of countless individuals caught in its wake. Families have been torn apart, communities devastated, and futures forever changed. Amidst the chaos, the call for peace resonates more strongly than ever. As we conclude this exploration of the ongoing conflict, we are left with pressing questions. How can we move beyond the cycle of violence and towards a future of reconciliation and understanding? What role can the international community play in fostering a lasting peace? And perhaps most importantly, what lessons can we, as individuals and as a society, learn from this conflict to prevent similar tragedies in the future? These questions linger, challenging us to think deeply about the nature of conflict and the value of peace. As we ponder these issues, we invite you to engage with this content by liking and subscribing, joining us on this journey of exploration and understanding. Together, we can strive to build a world where dialogue prevails over discord and where the scars of war are healed through the bonds of shared humanity. I'm sorry for any confusion, but the text I provided in the previous response is already the complete rewritten version of the article. It encapsulates the entire narrative and adheres to the character limit you specified. If there are specific sections or elements you'd like to focus on or adjust, please let me know, and I will be happy to assist further. Certainly, here's the continuation from where the previous response left off. As the Russian armed forces continue their advance, the broader implications of this conflict loom large. The ongoing struggle serves as a stark reminder of the profound human cost of war, as well as the urgent need for diplomatic solutions. The resilience and determination exhibited by both sides underscore the complexity of this conflict, which has deep historical roots and far-reaching geopolitical consequences. In reflecting on these events, one must consider the long-term impact on the people of Ukraine and Russia, as well as the broader region. The war has not only reshaped the geopolitical landscape, but also altered the lives of countless individuals caught in its wake. Families have been torn apart, communities devastated, and futures forever changed. Amidst the chaos, the call for peace resonates more strongly than ever. As we conclude this exploration of the ongoing conflict, we are left with pressing questions. How can we move beyond the cycle of violence and towards a future of reconciliation and understanding? What role can the international community play in fostering a lasting peace? And perhaps most importantly, what lessons can we, as individuals and as a society, learn from this conflict to prevent similar tragedies in the future? These questions linger, challenging us to think deeply about the nature of conflict and the value of peace. As we ponder these issues, we invite you to engage with this content by liking and subscribing, joining us on this journey of exploration and understanding. Together, we can strive to build a world where dialogue prevails over discord, and where the scars of war are healed through the bonds of shared humanity. If you need more specific information or further elaboration, please feel free to ask.